Hello, everyone. A very good evening to each one of you right here with us today. I am Mohini, your host for the evening today, and I welcome each one of you to PSTV. We are live one another time with another episode and another session, especially for all our lovely viewers out there. And it's Friday evening, guys. Saturday is round the corner, Sunday is round the corner, so that's basically my reason to be happy and or glad this evening. So before we sort of dive into the session and we take the plunge and we start the session for today, why not have a quick chit chat with all my lovely viewers here? Tell me, what's your plan for the weekend, guys? I need to know. Come on. So what is your plan for the weekend? What have you planned during the weekend? Quickly, okay? So tell me in the comment section right away. What are your plans for the weekend this time? How have you sort of planned your weekend, and what are you going to be doing this weekend? What are you up to this weekend? Let's do a quick chit chat, yeah? Okay, so I've started getting comments. I'm so glad. Okay, everybody's active today. So I'm getting traveling. All right, a lot of you are traveling. Is it on the weekend? There are like three, four answers here about people who are traveling. In case you're traveling, safe travel, everybody. Please keep all your safety precautions in place. It's a request. Take care, and yes, have loads of fun. All right. Okay. So there's some who are genuinely at home. So yes, weekends are time to relax, refresh, and regenerate ourselves and gather all the energies for the week. Definitely. So good choice. Okay, that's usually my choice on the weekends, definitely. Wow, and I see PSTV, PSTV, PSTV. Okay, that's the plan for the weekend, is it? Yes, definitely. We will have PSTV sessions for you on Saturday, and you should definitely tune into them and make your weekends all the more interesting and special. Yeah. And guys, can we hear it for PSTV? Come on. All right. I need to hear it from each one of you present here. A thumbs up, a show of hands, anything. Okay, so the heart emoji, the smile emojis, all right, the thumbs up are coming in for PSTV. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. We really are grateful to each one of you. All right, so understanding the art of podcasting. That is what we've been discussing for a long time now. We've been getting different insights, details, and delving deeper into the field of podcasting. Yes. Okay, so moving ahead to what's happening today. What have I planned for you today? What are we going to be doing in the session today? All right. So definitely break the ice is something that we will start the session with, and I have a lot of interesting questions today for each one of you. So do stay tuned and yes, answer all the questions, okay, with active participation from everybody. And I kind of know that everybody is going to participate actively because this batch is usually very, very active. All right. Again, after break the ice, we'll move forward to today's agenda, wherein I will be giving out what is today's agenda. Branding your podcast is definitely that we will be discussing today. I mentioned this in my last session. This session is going to be about how do you convert your podcast into a brand, guys. Okay. Fun activity for sure. We cannot do without the fun activity at Planetspark. Yes. All right. What's next, guys? Definitely, I'll be giving that out. Marketing strategies for your podcast. I'll be giving you some pinpointed specific strategies on how to go about to market your podcast. All right. And once we're through with that, definitely a quick recap of all that we've done in this session, of all the learnings of today. And of course, ending the session with homework, fun things for homework. All right, guys. So let us start. Break the ice. All right. So let me see the first question. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given, guys? So think about it. What's like the best piece of advice that you've ever been given? All right, so everybody's thinking because I don't see any answers yet, but I see the people are typing in. All right, for me, I'll talk about my answer at the moment, and everybody's thinking and typing in. So it is the best piece of advice that I've ever got till date is that never ever strive for perfection. Perfection is boring, all right? Okay, and what happens is that, as adults, I know for kids also, all of you want to be perfect in life, but trust me, just be yourself. Okay, perfection is genuinely boring. And for adults, we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and with time to be perfect in everything, perfect at work, perfect at home, perfect with the kids, perfect everywhere. Okay, but it doesn't work that way. So that is one piece of advice, and I remember it every day. I try and do like a revision of that one liner every day, that I'm not here to be perfect. I'm just here to be myself and do my best. All right. Okay, so I'm getting some lovely chats, and let me start reading it out for all the viewers here. There's something which says always ask why. Wow, Akshay, I like that. Being curious, being inquisitive about things is definitely something that is required, and it's the need of the hour. It always has been, all right? So definitely always ask why. Great piece of advice. Okay, then there's persistence and talent are your tools for success. Yes, Ronaldo, whoever's given you that advice, it's a bang on advice. Basically, it's just hard work and, of course, building up on your talent. Yes. All right. Then again, fight for your dreams. Yes, Leo, fight for your dreams, and don't let anybody put you down. Don't let anybody say that those dreams are not achievable. The sky is the limit for all my children out here. All right. Okay. Honesty is the best policy, says Zubin. Zubin, it definitely is. You should follow that advice for sure. Okay, and Eva saying, be prepared for the storm, before the storm, she says. All right, be prepared before the storm. Definitely a great piece of advice. Have your plan A, B, C, D in place, okay? And always be ready, okay? Always be ready for anything at any point of time in life. Wow, and I'm so glad I put this question up today, because I feel we're just starting the episode on such a positive note, guys, isn't it? Yeah? And can we hear it for all those amazing pieces of advice that we've received that has just helped us grow in life? Come on. All right. So my chat box, I'm getting the thumbs up, I'm getting the heart emojis, I'm getting the fire emojis. Wow, lovely, guys. Keep that coming. Okay, moving ahead. What is your ultimate dream job, guys? So tell me about your ultimate dream job. What is your ultimate dream job? There are a number of things we want to do in life, and especially when I was your age, I mean, there were so many things that I wanted to do. But again, coming to my dream job, I think it was always teaching. Okay, I've always had a passion for teaching, and I just thoroughly enjoy teaching. Okay, and even as a small kid, as a small girl, I still remember holding a piece of chalk and a slate in my hand, and basically going around the house teaching everybody I could catch hold of. And it was a nuisance, okay, in my house, but I think everybody put up with me because I was a small kid. So didn't want to disappoint me, definitely. But again, that has been my dream ever since, and I'm glad that I've been lucky enough to be doing what I've always dreamt of. All right, so tell me your dream job, guys. Come on. Okay, so NASA says Sahil. I knew that was coming, Sahil. And podcasting, a lot of podcasting. Yes, podcasters. So that is your dream job, and trust me, you're at the right place, guys. And I really hope and sincerely pray for each one of you that you achieve your dream jobs, okay? And you get that goal in place, all right? You just achieve whatever you want to in life. Okay, ballet dancer, Maria, that is such an amazing dream job. And are you taking classes for that, Maria? Come on, tell me in the chat box. Okay, she says, yeah, wow, lovely ballet dancer. I'd love to see you perform someday. Okay, so then there's an actor there. Wow, you're in the right session. Okay, all right. Then there's musicians. There's somebody who wants to become a vet. All right, scientist. I see. My God, so many dream jobs. Yeah, scientist, athletic. There's more of podcasters out here. A lot of the podcasters, definitely, because we are talking about podcasting. So I'm glad that it is a dream job for a lot of you. All right, then there are directors, there are writers. Wow, John wants to become a detective. John, really, you want to become a detective? Okay, then you have to teach me some tricks, huh? Once you become a detective, all right? Okay. So then there is a police officer there. There's a cop. Yes, definitely, Mr. Cop. Okay, then astronaut, all right, pilot, okay, podcasters again, all right. There's somebody who wants to become a teacher, amazing guys. Okay, so lot of interesting dream jobs, huh? All right, and I really hope that each one of you achieve your dream jobs in life and whatever you want to do in life, basically, all of you. And I'm getting the smileys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay. Moving ahead to the next break the ice. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? Okay, so I promise I will not read out this with the names. Okay, I'll just read out what you've done. I will not say who's done it. Okay, all right. So just type in before you think whether I should type in or not. Go ahead and pour your heart out and tell me the most embarrassing thing that you've done. And I promise I'm not going to tell anybody. I will just read it out without your names. Okay, I promise you that. All right. Okay. So the first one that I see on my screen is basically crying in front of my classmates. All right, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to let your emotions flow. I feel that's fine. That's not really embarrassing. Okay. There's another one which says that shouting the wrong answer. Okay, with full confidence in class. All right, and I'm not going to name who this is. All right. Interesting, huh? Okay, and everybody else is also typing. All right. Okay, and somebody has written that getting called up to solve a problem on the board and not being able to solve it. Okay, so this happened. This has happened to me also in my school days. I remember this. Okay, talking to my pencil. Really? Okay, you guys like talking to your pencils? My God. Okay. Someone pulls the seat when you're about to sit. That is something that everybody has faced, I think, in school life. Yeah. All of us have. Okay. No coordination during the PT classes. Yes, I can relate to that. You guys are transforming me into my school days with all these amazing answers. Really. Okay. Then the teacher picks on you when you are staring outside the window. Always, always happens. All right. Okay. So wow, falling asleep in class, my God. Okay, and and what else? Okay, being woken up by the laughing of everybody else. Yes, yes. So okay, falling asleep in the class and then basically being woken up by everybody laughing at you. Embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Okay, so a lot of all these embarrassing situations, and you guys have totally transformed me into my childhood days, into my school days. So thank you for such lovely answers, guys. Yeah. Okay. All right. So moving ahead, let us see. The next question is, what is your favorite strange food combination? So tell me, any strange food combinations that you like? Anything? Come on, everybody's thinking. The first one I get is chocolate and chips. Okay, chocolate and chips, my God. Okay, so you like chocolate and chips, Noah? All right. Then there's peanut butter and burger. Peanut butter and burger? My God, Disha. Okay. All right. Ice cream and French fries. I've never heard this. Ice cream and French fries. In fact, I've not heard these combinations at all. Okay. Justin is saying Oreo dipped in orange juice. Are you serious, Justin? You like Oreo dipped in orange juice? My God. Okay. All right. So then there are more answers. I mean, I don't know what to say. Popcorn and ketchup. My God, that is a sin. How can you have popcorn with ketchup? All right. Okay. Then there's chips and Nutella. That's like chips and chocolate. All right. Butter and sugar sandwich. Oh my God. I don't know whether I'd like to try all these strange combinations, but I am getting a lot of strange combinations from all of you. Wow. Okay. So I'm sure everybody, all the kids here have tried very different strange combinations. Maybe I'll pick a few of these answers and try them, and maybe I'll tell you my feedback sometime. For sure, guys. Okay. Thank you. All right. So let's move ahead. What is the what are the worst marks that you've ever got, and in which subject? So like the worst marks that you've ever got in which subject? All right. For me, I remember this very categorically because I used to always be one of the students who used to be the front benchers and always trying to do really well in class, and touchwood always doing really well in class. But there was a time when I was in class 11 and it was an accountancy exam, and I'm somebody who just cannot get the head and tail of accounts, and I don't know why I took up that field at that point of time. I changed it later, but I barely got like passing marks, like 41, 42. or out of 100, and I remember crying the entire day. So I remember that episode categorically, that is the worst marks that I've ever got. It was in class 11, and that's when I decided I am never going to do accountancy in my life. It is not meant for me. I'll probably switch to another stream altogether. Okay, so tell me, what is your like worst mark, and which subject have you got that mark in? So okay, so I'm getting grades also. Like, definitely, for those who get grades, you can give me grades also. There's grade C, there's grade D. All right, we all get these kind of grades. Okay, so 45 on 80 is not bad, yeah, for chemistry. Okay, I don't know. All right, language paper, somebody says 40 on 100, so that's just like the bare passing mark. There's 3 on 25 in mathematics. All right, mathematics has always been a struggle. It's always a challenge. Okay, then somebody's like it's a zero. It's an assignment in EVS wherein I got zero. All right, no problem. Okay, then there's 7 on 40 in mathematics. Okay, science again like a grade D. All right, history is a grade C. Okay, so we all keep getting these low grades or marks that are not that great once in a while. But again, what is important, guys, is to just bounce back. All right, bounce back, work hard, and just put in your best effort the next time. All right, so thank you for sharing that, guys. Okay, so now we're through with Break the Ice, and I've had a riot with all of you. I mean, I've really thoroughly enjoyed this Break the Ice because everybody's been so active. So thank you, and please keep that coming. All right. So today's agenda, guys, is branding and marketing your podcast. All right. We will be discussing about this. And okay. So every podcaster's dream is to build an audience that is so committed to the show that they go out of their own way to evangelize and share it with everyone they know. Okay. So that's your dream as a podcaster. That is everybody's dream as a podcaster, is basically that you have such a loyal audience, okay, that they're so committed, they just want to go out and talk about it. Okay, word of mouth, how many of you heard this about word of mouth? Send me a yes in the chat box quickly if you've heard of what is word of mouth. All right, so most of you have. Okay, so then your audiences is your promotion, guys, and every podcaster dreams of this. Okay, that you can build an audience that is so committed and loyal to your podcast. They go around telling the world about it. They are your best advertisements. All right, the audiences. Okay, so 6 strategies for building your podcast brand. All right, let's see how we can convert a podcast into a brand. So the first is focus on your podcast audience. We just saw that lovely quote that I mentioned about the audiences. Okay, so again, focus on your podcast audience. That is the first and foremost strategy, guys. When you're building a podcast brand, the number one place is to start is with where your audiences are. Okay, with your audiences basically. Okay, now as the podcaster, you have to know exactly who your listeners are that you're targeting. I've told this time and again in my sessions, we've been discussing this. Please get your target audience correct. Okay, do a good research on who are you targeting. Okay, so please get that research in place and know exactly who your listeners are. Okay, who are you targeting with your message? Okay, and identify your ideal listener. Okay, please focus on your podcast audience. That is the short way of your podcast turning into a brand. You have no clue of the kind of magic that the audiences can do for you. All right, so that's the first and foremost strategy. The next is define your podcast mission and vision. We've discussed mission and vision. In case you have missed out on my sessions, please go to the sessions from the last week and the week before. You'll get a clear insight about the mission as well as the vision that we have discussed, guys. Okay, so having a clear mission and vision will help you along your journey of creating and launching a successful podcast. Knowing your why, knowing where you're going, why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, you have to be absolutely clear as to why you are doing this. Why are you recording the podcast? Why are you putting it forward to the audiences? Get your why sorted. Okay, and what are the core drivers behind your show? What's your motivation, guys? What motivates you? What is the core driver? What is the inspiration? Get all this in place. Extremely important. Okay, so defining your podcast mission and vision, that's the next strategy. Moving on, the next one is establishing your podcast brand voice. Okay, podcast brand voice. Come on now, guys. Everybody, once you record a podcast, everybody just recognizes you through your voice, right? Okay, so obviously, I told you, if you're tired, if you're not enjoying the process, the audience will recognize you. Okay, your voice is something that becomes a brand. Okay, every podcast and its host has a unique style. We all have a unique style of talking. There's nothing like a right style or a wrong style. We all have a separate style and we're all known. Okay, so establish that uniqueness, establish your own style. Okay, let yourself be creatively and, like I say, uniquely you. Okay, find ways to personalize everything you do on your show, guys. Really letting your own brand voice shine throughout your show. Okay, let your own brand voice shine. Let people recognize you with your own voice. Turn your voice into a brand, basically. All right, so establish your podcast brand voice. That is the third strategy. Moving ahead, solidify your brand presence. Okay, now along with creating a consistent podcast brand, you also need to make sure that it is well represented. Okay, it's the world of promotion, of representation. All right, solidify your podcast brand presence, guys, within the press, the media. Try and get featured on other podcasts, or even by writing, different pieces for well-known blogs, that capture audiences. Again, audiences obviously who are aligned with the mission and vision of your own podcast brand. Okay, so make your brand presence count. Okay, and gain your ground, I'd like to say. Solidify your brand presence, very important. Moving ahead, consistently create on brand content. Okay, now creating a strong podcast brand voice and presence all comes down to just being consistent, guys. Okay, your podcast brand should be reflected in your podcast artwork. All right, your website design, all across your social media platforms. Don't go on changing it every now and then. All right, please have a consistent image, have consistent content that comes across. Don't confuse your audiences. I've said this earlier. So consistently create on brand content. Okay, please keep that consistent. All right, it's only then that you will be able to establish your podcast as a brand. Moving ahead, create the ultimate user experience, guys. Okay, make the experience with your podcast as enjoyable and easy to listen to and access as possible. Give your listeners the opportunity to interact, engage with the show, and build relationships to grow even stronger. Okay, and again, what happens is that when you create such an ultimate amazing user experience for your audiences, what happens is that you automatically gain a loyal following. All right, listeners who are definitely going to tune in to your podcast. Okay, so give them something that is special, give them something that is unique, give them something that provides them the ultimate experience, guys, to all your audiences. So all these six strategies, I hope it is clear with everybody that how these are all the branding strategies that you have to try and work on as far as your podcasting is concerned. Okay, is it clear, guys? And can I hear it in the comment section from you? Anything that just tells me that you're clear on these strategies? Come on, quickly, like a yes or a thumbs up, anything. Okay, okay, all right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So, moving ahead after the branding strategy. Oh, yes. And now, as usual, it's a short break, a time for fun activity now, as usual. So, brace yourselves, okay? All right. So, the riddles, guys, okay. First riddle is, what goes up and down but does not move? Okay. So, tell me, guys, what goes up and down but does not move? Any thoughts? Everybody's thinking. Okay, the riddles take a little time, the answers come in like slowly and steadily, so I know that everybody's thinking, everybody's typing. Okay, all right, so what goes up and down but does not move? Okay, so I'm seeing there's one answer which says seesaw. Okay, the another answer also says seesaw. Right, think harder, guys. Okay, Swing is there. All right, all right. Yes. And I can see a few of the correct answers. I can definitely see a few of the correct answers. All right, guys. So let's see what is the correct answer. I'll just give you a second more, maybe, to think on this. Okay, all right, all right, all right. And the answer is a staircase, guys. Yes, it is a staircase. What goes up and down but does not move, all right? It is a staircase. Okay, so moving ahead, guys. Let's see the next one. What has hands but cannot clap? Okay, so what has hands but cannot clap? Everybody's thinking again, all right. Everybody's thinking again. So I'm getting question marks on my screen. I'm not giving you the answer right away. You need some time to think. Come on, give me some answers. And I'm just getting question marks and I'm just getting like the think emoji as usual. Okay, and I'm getting the think emoji one more time. I'm getting the question mark, but I'm not getting any answers. Everybody's thinking, what has hands but cannot clap? Yeah. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so there's one correct answer as of now, and everybody else is just giving me question marks. Huh? So let me give this out. It is a clock, guys. Yes, it is a clock. All right, okay. All right, and I get the grin emojis in my chat box. It is a clock. Moving ahead to the next riddle. What kind of band never plays any music? So, what kind of a band never plays any music? Is there a band which does not play any music? Come on, think of it. All right, all right. So this one I think everybody's heard, yeah? Is it that simple? Okay. All right. So I've got a lot of correct answers and I'll give it to you right away. The answer is a rubber band which does not play any music. Okay, guys. Thank you for those lovely answers, everybody. Now the next riddle is, what has words but never speaks? Okay. So tell me, what has words but never speaks? Okay, and the question mark pops up yet again. The think emoji pops up yet again. All right, so everybody's thinking on the riddles. What has words but it never speaks? Okay, so mind, my God. Okay, so Justin is saying mind. Justin, you know the mind can actually speak. The mind speaks to all of us. All right, the mind can really speak. Don't underestimate the power of the mind speaking. All right, okay. All right, all right. So, okay, I'm getting question marks and I'm getting like four correct answers as of now. Okay, so let me see. Let me give it out. The answer is a book. Okay, all right. It is a book. Yes, Justin, it is a book. All right. But good thinking, huh? I like your thinking. All right, everybody, in fact. Okay. So the next riddle, guys. What has a head and a tail, but no body? A head, a tail, but it does not have a body. Come on. So everybody's saying, which animal? Are you sure it's an animal? Okay, so I'll give this as a hint because everybody's thinking very hard today. Huh? You're really thinking very hard on the riddle. It is not an animal. That is the hint. It's not an animal. So what has a head and a tail but no body? Come on, tell me quickly. All right, okay, all right. So I've just received one correct answer as of now. Everybody else is either typing or they're thinking. Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 second more and then I'll give this out. Okay, all right. Yes, a few of that, but again, there's just two correct answers. All right, guys. So the answer is a coin. Yes, and you can actually play these riddles at home with your family members. We do these every day in the week, and we really have a fun time with all these riddles. So definitely, maybe you can learn some of these riddles and you can play this riddle game with your family members also at home or maybe with your friends. Yeah, okay, lovely. All right, so guys, did you like the riddles for today? Come on, I need to hear from you. It's only then that I'll give you more riddles in the next session. Come on. All right, so my chat box is bombarded with the thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so everybody enjoys the riddles here. Lovely. Okay. So now, guys, we're going to be discussing about 10 strategies to market your podcast. I will be giving you 10 strategies, 10 ways in which you can market your podcast. All right. Okay. So the first one, create a dedicated podcast site and a page, guys. Okay, by giving your podcast a home in the digital space. It is the digital, age right now, and we're all so much into technology these days that you have to create a podcast, and you have to create a podcast in that digital space. Okay, curate all your episodes and content in one streamlined place. Okay, this will help you do that. And your podcast page or site should contain all the important information that interested listeners need to be able to hit subscribe. Okay, so of course that podcast page, the site that you develop, that you work on, it definitely has to have all the important information, and of course directions for the listeners wherein they can go and they're able to hit subscribe there. All right, so definitely one of the marketing strategies for today's time, new age marketing strategy, is for sure that creating a detailed podcast site or a page, guys, very important. Okay, moving ahead, the next is distribute your podcast across as many platforms. I've mentioned this earlier, guys. It is your podcast, it is your show, it is your creation. All right, now the podcasting has grown in popularity. Several podcast formats have actually emerged. All right, some popular podcast streaming services include the Apple Podcast, Stitcher, and now even mega music streaming service Spotify. All right, now, to make sure you're reaching as many of your target customers as possible, please aim to publish your podcast episodes across as many platforms as possible. Okay. Go all out with this. Go all out and distribute your podcast across as many platforms, because at the end of the day, it is your podcast, it is your creation. Okay. And it's important for you to go ahead and distribute it on any as many platforms as possible, because it'll increase your reach among the audiences, definitely. Okay, so that's the point number two. Now moving ahead, the third is optimize for SEO. Now come on, tell me a quick question from for all of you. What is the full form of SEO? Come on, guys. Or let's everybody typing, and I get yes, search engine optimization. Definitely, basically, it's about placing a URL or a website at the top of the search, engine's result, guys. Okay, so it definitely goes a long way to increase the visibility of your website, of your page, or whatever. So the easiest way to optimize for search is optimizing your podcast title and episodes to include the basic keywords your target audience might use when they're looking for any new episode or podcast. Okay, think of all the keywords that people might search on. When you put these keywords on Google, you get certain search results. Yes, so think of those kind of keywords that people might relate and search for when they're looking for a new podcast or a new episode. Okay, sprinkle in specific keywords in your episode descriptions also. We've discussed about episode descriptions. Try and keep this as a part of your episode descriptions also. Okay, and of course the show notes. All right, so again, this is another great way to increase your reach and to market your podcast. Moving ahead, the fourth way out is basically repurpose content into videos, images, and blog posts, guys. Okay. Now, after you publish your podcast episode, actively promote them across different platforms by just repurposing your content. Okay. And just for the this purpose, for repurposing your podcast episodes, basically what you can do is turn notable quotes into quote graphics for social media. Okay, these work very well for social media, so you can definitely turn them into quote graphics. Again, the next thing that you can do is basically create a short blog post about a recent podcast topic that you published. Okay, so you can definitely go ahead and blog about it. Create a small post. Okay, maybe do a nice template on something like Canva and put it forward, okay, on social media. You know how much so the reach of social media is today, right? We all know that, we are aware of it. Okay, it is the age of social media. All right, so please go ahead, repurpose content into your videos, images, and blog posts, and put it forward on social media, guys. All right, okay, so moving ahead, turn podcast episodes into YouTube videos, guys. Now, I mentioned to you about the SEO, okay, and but doing this entire step of turning your podcast episode into YouTube videos will just take it a step, a notch further. All right, and it'll just take your search engine strategy even further, guys, even better. And one way to make the most of Google's preference to video is turn your podcast into videos you can upload to YouTube. All right, so very important. Once you're through with the podcast, you should definitely, it is definitely something that I would suggest, that please turn your podcast episodes into YouTube videos. Okay, all right. Moving ahead to the next strategy is update your email marketing templates, guys. Okay, if you've already started building your email list, you have an email list wherein you email people, you tell them about your podcast. Make sure your audience knows about the podcast by updating your email templates to link out to your show. Try and keep a link there. Don't just send an email saying that I'm going live and I have a podcast and everything. Put in your link there so that all they have to do is just click on the link and they'll get access to your podcast. Okay, people don't want to waste time searching the entire net for anything. Okay, make that process easier for them. Okay, so update your email marketing templates, everyone. Moving to the next strategy, guys. Use the 2 week rating rule for a new podcast. Okay, so if you are a newcomer in launching podcast videos, now you have a great chance to reach a wide sea of listeners by getting on Apple Podcasts new and noteworthy section. Okay, new and noteworthy section there. And to get featured on this page, what you need to do is that you have to show Apple that your podcast is gaining a ton of downloads and reviews in the first 2 weeks of your podcast going live. All right. So the first 2 weeks are very crucial for your podcast. Try and promote it as much as possible and try and gather as many downloads and reviews that you can get in the first 2 weeks. Okay, because then what happens that you can get yourself registered on Apple Podcast new and noteworthy section, and which will again uh, increase your reach by time and bounds. Basically, it's going to really increase your reach, guys. All right, so definitely try and do this. Okay, use the 2 week rating rule for a new podcast. So definitely a good marketing strategy. Moving ahead, mention other businesses and entrepreneurs in your episodes. Okay, sometimes you can get a free shout out from notable people in your niche by talking about them or their brand on your podcast. So collaboration, it's the world of collaboration, guys. Okay, it is the world of collaboration. And definitely what you can do is you can get a free shout out from notable people in your niche by just talking about them on or their brand on your podcast. You can email them, all these businesses and entrepreneurs. You can just send them an email, send them a link on their social media account, and tell them how is exactly used as an example in your podcast. Okay, if they like it, they might just share the episode to their network. You never know, it might just work out. Okay, and I can vouch for it. Collaboration really helps you increase your reach a lot, guys. Okay, so collaborate. Okay, all right, and thank you. I'm getting a lot of comments as usual. I wish I could show all of them, but thank you so much. If you're enjoying the episode, thank you, and please stay tuned in. All right, okay. So again, what happens is that definitely collaboration works, and it's going to really benefit your podcast. So definitely mention other businesses, entrepreneurs in your episodes for sure. Another great marketing tool. Again, invite more noteworthy guests over time. All right, now as time goes on, you want to invite guests to your podcast who can actually add high value for your listeners. Okay, it's a win-win for everybody. Basically, what happens is that you get access to your guest audience also, whom you invited to your podcast, when they share their interview to their network, because obviously if they are on your podcast, they would also like to share it among their listeners. Okay, among the people who know them, they'd obviously like to promote it, so your guest can reach your audience also. Okay, so it's like a win-win situation for both of you. Okay, at both ends. All right, and listeners can hear from extremely knowledgeable people on your podcast. Listeners know that this person who's at the back of the podcast, the one who's actually holding the podcast, somebody who's knowledgeable, he's got another knowledgeable guest on show, so definitely he's talking sense. All right, so of course, when you call another guest on your show, it really increases your reach, and it's also a win-win situation for your guest. So it's basically a win-win situation for both of you, all right, for both sides. So definitely thumbs up for this marketing strategy, guys. Okay, invite more noteworthy guests over time on your show. Moving ahead, get yourself on other people's podcasts. Okay, aim to get interviewed on other people's podcasts to broaden your reach and build up on your following. Okay, people who are listening to you are already following a certain podcast. If they listen to you on that podcast, definitely it's going to increase your following. Okay, and what you can do is you should definitely prepare yourself when you're trying to pitch to get on someone's podcast, because otherwise how why will anybody else invite you to their podcast, okay, to be a part of their own podcast. So what you can do is pitch one or two topics that you can talk about in your episode. Tell them that this is what I know, and I feel that I can maybe go ahead and give a great insight into this topic. Promote yourself, okay. Podcast hosts need to know why you're worth including a guest. Why would somebody include you as a guest? So please go ahead, promote yourself, and make it easy for them to reach out to you. Given your contact details, your email details, and make it easy for them so that they don't. It's not too much of a hassle or a work for them to get to you. All right. So these are definitely things that you can go ahead. So these were the 10 strategy, guys, and trust me, if you follow these 10 strategies, your podcast marketing is going to really do very well. Okay, it's going to be on a boom for all of you. All right. So again, I hope these 10 strategies are clear with everybody. Is it clear, guys? I need to get a yes in the chat box quickly from everyone. Okay, yes, yes, yes. So I'm so glad everybody's been listening, everybody's been hearing all these podcasts. So now I think we're almost towards the end of the session. And of course, we'll do a quick recap of what we've done today. We discussed about how to brand the podcast, and of course, 10 strategies that I gave forward to each one of you regarding marketing your podcast. Keep these strategies in mind, and I hope everybody's been making a note of it, because these are really helpful and these are for your benefit, guys. Okay, so moving ahead to the homework before we end our session for today. Your homework is you have to follow the steps taught today and try branding your previous recorded episodes. We've done a lot of recorded episodes. Try branding them, okay, following the steps that I have discussed in today's session. And again, go through these strategies, okay? Please, it's a request. Go through the session one more time once you're done with it, and go through these strategies one more time. They're going to be very effective strategies. Please go through them in detail. In case of any doubts, any queries, you are most welcome to send me an email, guys. Please do that. Okay, I'd love to hear from each one of you. All right, guys, I think it is time, and we've almost completed a lot of information today, information overload today. And I hope it's worked for all of you and you found this session fruitful and beneficial. Yeah, and I get a lot of thumbs up. Okay, and before I close the session for today, of course, I need to tell you what's next. Next, guys, is the new theme alert. Yes, okay. So I'm going to be coming out with a new theme alert wherein I will brief you about a new theme for the next week for sure. Okay. And we're going to do a lot of discussion, a lot of talking, a lot of interaction, definitely in the next session. Till then, all the podcasters in the making, have a good Saturday, have a good Sunday. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.